Hey there, and welcome to the Hey Kayla podcast. I am your host, Kayla Evans, and in this episode, we're diving into one of the biggest, most common goals or things in the personal development space, why I actually encourage my clients to not strive for it, and then the reframe that I follow and encourage them and everyone else really to follow as well, which I'm going to encourage you to follow, because in my experience, this leads to a much more fun and less pressury journey when you are on your self-help or your personal development journey. So this phrase or goal that a lot of us strive for or work towards is becoming our best selves. Another way this is said all the time is becoming the highest version of ourselves. And if you're newish to this concept, it's basically if we operated at our peak level, right? We behaved, we thought, we spoke, we moved, we ate, we dressed at the level that we wanted to, that would be our best, highest selves. We would end up living into our full potential, right? Living our lives to the fullest, which sounds amazing. Absolutely, 100%. And no shade to anybody who has ever said, I want to be my best self, or I want to be the highest version of myself. I love this concept. 150 freaking percent. I love this. I basically teach this concept all the time. And I definitely have phrased it like this in the past for sure. I'm sure I have somewhere. And I actually do have a free virtual workshop coming up the start of December. So Sunday, December 1st, it's called Becoming Your Most Favorite Version of You. I see where I'm going with this. And we're going to link that in the show notes if you want to check it out, register, and join us. Again, it's complimentary, which is just a fancy way of saying it's free. But that's that twist, right, that I like to take to it to make the idea more fun and really pleasurable to work towards. Because, of course, anything I do, I really don't like doing anything the normal way. And I'm always trying to make things more fun for myself and my people. So that's the twist. Becoming your favorite version of yourself. I want to become my most favorite version of myself. And here's really the difference for me, or the big difference that I think of. The best version of me is polished as heck. Her clothes are good. You know, she eats really clean. She's flawless. She never makes a mistake. She gets up. No, it's a dog grumbling. Yeah, I feel you, buddy. You know, she gets up at 5 a.m. She cold plunges. She works out. She meditates. She lives this very, what do they call it? Like 75 hard kind of lifestyle, right? She has this unbelievable standard that she holds herself to. Whereas my favorite version of me, she's less polished, but she takes more risks. And she makes more mistakes because that's how she learns. She sees things as interesting experiments, the outfits she tries out, the recipes in her kitchen, her workouts, her coaching programs. She wears Vanties and lipstick that's sometimes too dark, right? She eats the fried chicken and she drinks that extra cup of coffee. She does things that are more fun, and she fills her life with things that are more fun. But most importantly, she listens to her gut and she does what feels right to her, both in her business and in her personal life. So she creates the things she wants and the things that she loves. And in that process, she's actually creating the life that she wants. The one that lights her up, the one that lets her help others and give back, the one that makes her feel fulfilled and happy about life, which, to be honest, by theory and like by default, actually makes her the highest version of herself. So by not reaching for the best or highest version of yourself from the get-go, I feel like it relieves two really big roadblocks, in my opinion and my experience. And this is why I like to say my favorite version as opposed to best or highest version. The first thing is it's going to alleviate a ton of pressure. Best, highest, right? Those words carry a lot of weight, and they can make us feel like we have to be perfect or flawless. And I'm just not a big fan of that. I'll link my podcast episode where I talk about perfection. I'll put that in the show notes. But if we're already feeling pressure, A, we might not even start our path of personal development or bettering ourselves. Or B, if we're already on that personal development journey, we just might be making it tougher and harder, aka we'll be tougher and harder on ourselves than we need to be. And that just leads to no fun. Plus, there's a really good chance that we won't go as far as we could or have the best results possible if we're pressuring or bullying ourselves into them. So the bottom line here is to be kind to yourself, have fun, and you'll go further, and it's going to be a way more enjoyable ride. So that's the first roadblock. It's just going to relieve that pressure. And then the second big roadblock you remove by striving for your favorite version of yourself as opposed to the highest or best version of yourself is not knowing what to do or how to get there. And for me, this was the biggest roadblock when I started on my personal development journey, when I kind of fell into this world back in 2016. I thought, okay, great, but like, who the heck is the best me? You know, how do I even get there? How do I even know where there is? Like, who is she? Like, I could not imagine this big, shiny, polished, perfect Kayla. Like, it was so overwhelming. I had no idea what she looked like. But I started asking myself, what would my most favorite version of me do? And then I would listen to my soul, go with what lit me up, what made me feel good, what made me happy. And that kind of guided me from one thing to the next. And that's what kind of got me from like step to step to step. It was way less overwhelming and way less confusing to just do the things that made me feel the best. So, and again, no shame to anybody who is saying these things, because you see and you hear it all the time, especially on social media. You know, there's well-meaning coaches or influencers who are awesome. Like, these people are phenomenal and they're not going to steer you wrong. A lot of them, some of them might, but for the most part, I think a lot of coaches, we have the best intentions, right? We really want to help people. And when you're on social media and you're seeing people encouraging you, you know, to do this or that in order to become that best, highest version of yourself, and you're feeling a bit icky about it, just listen to yourself, like listen to that feeling. And then just ask yourself, what would make you feel the best, right? No one's got the blueprint, the one and all, like, follow this and you will be the best version of you, because if they did, we'd all be superhuman, right? So just ask yourself, what would make you feel the best? And I ask myself that question all day long, like 1,000 times a day, probably even more. What makes me feel good? I ask this, you know, in the morning when I'm doing the human things and I'm getting dressed and picking out an outfit for the day, when I'm deciding what to eat, what to listen to, right? What to watch on YouTube, what to work on or create. Your gut or your soul, like it always knows the answer. So just ask yourself and listen. And even back to that blueprint thing, even me jabbing my jaws here, telling you to reframe your thoughts to becoming your favorite version of you. You don't even have to listen to me. Like, I'm here to help you out. But at the end of the day, you are always going to know what's best for you. And you're always going to know what you need more than I or anyone else ever will. You are the expert on you. So if you're on your own personal development journey, and I have a feeling if you're listening to me and you're part of the Hey Kayla community, you probably are. And if you're feeling a little bit stuck, try this reframe and see if it'll help you. And I mean, if there's anything you want to add to the conversation, you can always send me a DM on Instagram. I'm there at Hey Kayla, or you can send me an email. If it's going to be a lengthy one, you know I like talking. info@heykayla.com is my email. And then another reminder, if you just want to go deeper into how to do this, right? How to become your favorite version of you. Because at the end of the day, like, I don't have kids, but I am a kid to someone. And, even if you have kids or dependents or your wife, mother, all these things, or father or caregiver, you still are here for you. Like, you are here to live your life the way that you want to live it the most, right? Like, at the end of your time here, do you want to be this awesome, overachieving badass? Yeah, maybe. Or do you want to look back and be like, wow, I was my favorite person and I had a super fun life and I absolutely loved it and I rocked it and I'm happy to go on to what's next. Love you guys. Peace. Bye. Think about it. So if you want to dive more into like my fun world, again, my complimentary, aka fancy for free, virtual workshop is coming up Sunday, December 1st. That's also the night of the new moon for all, those of us in the spiritual world. That's perfect time for new beginnings. So this workshop is called Becoming Your Most Favorite Version of You. I'm going to link it in the show notes. If you want to check it out, register and join us. Again, it's complimentary or free. And as always, thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I hope you have the best week.